This is why we check for audio, because my microphone was not plugged in correctly, so I also need to mute myself. Give me a sec. There's always something to go wrong with this stream, and I didn't even realise that we were going into the race straight away. It's a 25%. I don't know how serious it is, to be honest, and I've been on holiday for ages. I've just unfortunately not been able to show up for like 4 consecutive weeks, which is just poor, but there was nothing I could do about it. Anyway, 7 drivers, 1 top place on the podium, and Rayner leads, surprise, surprise. Coy's very close to him. I didn't mean to be on mute. I was actually properly commentating before, and now I just feel like a bit of an idiot. I had everything set up as well. I think I muted myself by mistake. But anyway. So badly wanted this race, but the power is out. That sucks. Right. Let's actually watch. Have a look at this. Huge slipstream from Mikhail. Has to actually let off the throttle to avoid crashing, but he does touch the rear end of Rayner. Going in to the bus stop chicane. Rayner nearly going round, and Mikhail's found himself up into P2, but he's got Coy's right on the outside of him now, fitting in behind. Mikhail's going to find a way around the outside into turn 1, fighting for the lead here. Mikhail and Rayner, the iconic duo, the iconic rivalry, and look at this. Mikhail takes the lead of the Grand Prix, and Rayner might get taken by Coy's as well, going through a Rouge. No, he hasn't, but he has to fill in behind Mikhail, and Stonehenge gets a penalty. Here comes Coy's. On the Kemmel Straight, we've also got Totally No Pro behind them as well. It's going to be a 4-way battle for P1. Down the Kemmel Straight, into the right-hander. Rayner maintains position. Coy's maintains position. Everyone maintains for now. But moves could be happening. Randro's sitting in last place with Queens and Youngleader there. Well, Youngleader's actually latching onto the back of this fight now. We're just watching and waiting for anything to happen. Race strategy, softs to mediums, lap 5 is what they are guessing, powered by AWS, who are definitely sponsoring the stream. 100%. We got Amazon, they are doing it, I promise you. Jeff Bezos, he loves me. We actually met up and discussed pay cuts for the stream, got a little bit heated. Long story short, each driver gets 100 million a season. I'm on a salary of 50 mil. We're sitting pretty here at Aurora Racing League. You can see the AWS branding. Switches to MSC Cruising, who we're not actually partnered with here on Twitch. Right, look at this. Totally No Pro, practically pushing Coy's to the push stop chicane. Is he going to make a move? Not quite yet. Rayner still maintaining pressure on the rear end of his Red Bull rival. And you can just see Youngleader trying to latch onto the back of this fight. Mikhail picking up the fastest lap. But Randro steals that, so he might be last, but he is putting in the lap times. Gonna ride on board. I have got a bit of scuffed camera settings right now for the onboards, but they'll do. See, DRS has been enabled this lap and up through a Rouge and onto the Kemmel Straight. Rayner with DRS is going to hope to fly by, but Coy's is going to see if he can get past. It's 2 abreast behind Rayner, and Rayner takes the lead again. Coy's is going to see if he can find a way past the Red Bull driver, but he's not going to for now. Just going to have to fit in again behind. He's got Totally No Pro right behind him, who's really putting the pressure on as well. It's a pretty close battle for first place. It's a good race so far. We ride on board with the rear wing of Mikhail, the man who did lead that last lap, but got overtaken basically due to DRS. And now you can see that Rayner and Mikhail are starting to pull away a little bit. and they might separate off into their own little battle if Coys can't keep up. Totally No Pro really does want to find a way past this McLaren up into third place to round out the podium positions, but I think Coys is going to be fierce with the defending. You saw Mikhail swerving to the inside on the Kemmel straight, trying to block off Rayner, but the move was inevitable, and you can see that Rayner is just starting to pull away a little bit. Totally No Pro down the inside. Now he's on the outside, and he is going to be able to get past Coys up into third place, but will Coys be able to get him back going into the bus stop chicane? Have a look at Mikhail. Is he going to get him back going into the bus stop chicane? No, he's not, and Coys just sitting a little bit. Medium tyres though for Totally No Pro, so he's doing a really good job on a harder compound. DRS for Mikhail. Can he get past into turn 1? No, he can't, but that's probably the better idea. He will want the slipstream through Eau Rouge, and he will want the DRS on the Kemmel straight to fly past his Ferrari counterpart. Let's watch these two battle and pay attention to the battle behind as well. Coys will probably be able to get past Totally No Pro. Watch this. Brilliant run on the Ferrari. DRS open, but he didn't need it. Goes onto the grass, but he gets the move done. Completely leaving Rayner in the dust. Into the right-hander we go, and Coys was not able to find his way past Totally No Pro. Hello, Ern. Welcome back. It's been 4 weeks. Yes, no fault of my own. I just had holidays and such booked in over the summer. I couldn't really do anything about it, unfortunately. I don't think that there is anything that Jet 2... I don't think Jet 2 really would have wanted me to be commentating in the middle of a flight, to be honest. It would have been quite off-putting for some passengers. Ooh, Totally No Pro really sustaining some pressure on the rear end of Rayner's Ferrari. And that Scooter rear not looking very comfortable at all in its given position. There's going to be a bit of a slipstream here for Totally No Pro down to the bus stop chicane, and Rayner could be in a little bit of trouble here. He's really going to have to try and cling on to the rear of Mikhail, which he is doing so nicely, riding on board there into the bus stop chicane. Looked for a move, Totally No Pro did, but he thought the better of it. Look at that though, Coys going for it, and Mikhail and Rayner both pull into the pits, so we've got a new leader, and it's Totally No Pro. The McLaren of Coys stays out. Totally No Pro is going to go longer into this race on those medium tyres, whereas Coys maybe playing a little bit longer than he should have been, maybe. Lap 5 did look like the crossover point from softs to mediums, which is why you see Rayner and Mikhail both pitting for them. Coys testing his luck, but he might be able to take the lead of the race here. On the left-hand side of the track with DRS, he will fly past the Red Bull and into first place. But that first place won't last too long, as he will probably pit by the end of this lap. If he doesn't, I will be very, very surprised. Having a look down, Queen Stone Age, the only one who also hasn't pitted, except for those front two. And, I mean, I think Stone Age might be on a few penalties, I'm not sure. But having a look, Mikhail a second away from Rayner. This hasn't really gone Rayner's way, has it? I mean, yeah, it's not been ideal for the Ferrari driver, and I think Mikhail will probably get the better of everyone else and go on to win this race, because Rayner not really able to get past, although he is closing that gap down. You can see on the top left corner of the screen, you can see the timings, and they must be on a straight here, because he's closing that gap down quite nicely, and then it goes all the way back up again. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Now Totally No Pro, long bit of road here to get a slipstream into the bus stop chicane. That right-hander, do we see Coys go into the pits? Yes, we do, and Totally No Pro regains the lead of the race, based on the fact that he is on the medium tyres. Now I want to watch Coys, and I want to watch this pit stop, and I want to see if he comes out ahead or behind of Mikhail. Another penalty for Stone Age. It's a good pit stop from the McLaren guys. We see Mikhail coming down the straight. Will he come out ahead of Coys, or did Coys make the right strategy call? We ride on board, and we can see Coys exiting the pits there. He does come out right behind a Rayner, but it's not good enough. And it's only good enough for fourth there for Coys. Let's see if Rayner can make a move on the Kemmel straight. DRS open for the Scuderia. Gaining, gaining, gaining. Will he send it down the inside? No, he won't. Thinks better of it. Backs out. Stone Age has left the session after not doing too well, in all fairness, and seems they've stopped on the middle, right before a Rouge actually. What are those cam settings? It's highest FOV possible, basically. I used to run it on 2021. I thought, yeah. So Stone Age has been disqualified. Hopefully that doesn't bring out a safety car. It's the settings are I just go for the highest FOV possible to see as much as I can around me. Young leader picks up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. That's not great for the Ferrari driver, Rainer's teammate. But he is still currently... Well, no, Randro is quite close to the back of him, actually. So, that could be troublesome for him. I don't know. I used them on F1 2021. I thought I'd try and use them again. I might switch back to just running... Yeah, for commentary I should switch it back. I kind of forgot about them. Randro gaining, gaining, gaining on Young Leader, and Rainer gaining, gaining, gaining on Mikhail, but no move there. Is there a move for Randro on Young Leader? Yes, down the inside he goes. The Aston Martin driver going to try and battle it out, and he has made that move stick. Totally no pro now into the pits, and he drops to 4th upon exit. He's a long way behind Coys. I think he should have tried to stick it out longer, but then again, there's a reason why I commentate and not race in this league. I don't think the strategy call was the right one, but then again, if he had chosen the same strategy, he would have had to box a lap later than Mikhail anyway, so it is what it is. F1 2023, F1 23 on PC, and it kind of lags, not going to lie, the game eats way too much power. Graphics, I guess. Right, Rainer under pressure from Coys. That's not where he wants to be. He wants to be past Mikhail and in the lead of the race, but that is not happening. For some reason we got yellows in this next sector of the track, but I don't know why they're there. Look at this, Coys is so close to the rear end of the Scuderia. There is only so much longer that the Shell-sponsored car can keep the hungry McLaren behind. You can see that that's why the yellow flags are out. It's because of the disqualified Williams that still, for some reason, is still on the track. Rainer will be under huge amounts of pressure from Coys here. Towards the bus stop chicane for the 7th time this race. But no move able to be made. Into turn 1 we go. Rainer catching up to the rear under the Oracle Red Bull Racing car. But unfortunately, as I need to turn my watch notifications off, there we go. I think Coys is going to have him before he's going to get anywhere near to Mikhail. We'll have to wait and see. Down the Kemmel Straight we go. And yes, to the left-hand side of the track, Coys goes and takes 3rd place. You can see the top of the chassis. Oh, yeah. You mean the... only on some of them, like most of them. The Ferrari is one of the only ones where you can't. I always thought it was a bit... It distracted me at first, as these two battle away. But I kind of got used to it. I much preferred having loads of FOV, because I normally have like my FOV maxed out on virtually all games that I play. But yeah, what's it called? It's the roll bar. That's what it is, the roll bar. And yes, it does obstruct your vision. Can Coys launch an attack on Mikhail? Mikhail has been pretty unaffected by Rainer, even when he's had the DRS, because the hood covers it when you're racing. Yeah, I tend to have it higher up. Here's Coys. Loads of pressure on Mikhail, making his move for the lead around the outside. Let's watch these two battle it out. Mikhail trying to come up further across to stop the move. Cutting to the inside though goes Coys, and he might have him into the bus stop chicane. He's going to be forced around the outside later on the brakes. This could be a great move from the McLaren. This could be a superb move from the McLaren. This is a fantastic move, and there's a bit of a slidey rear end from Rainer, and totally no pro takes 3rd place and the fastest lap at that as well. Totally no pro, really getting himself back into this. Reina drops to 4th from 1st. Not very good at all for the Scuderia. What a brilliant move that was, though, from Coys. Switching it on the run down to the bus stop. And that was fantastic. But here comes Mikhail. Gonna get back at him. DRS down the Camel Straight is probably one of the most overpowered DRS zones on the whole calendar. Has this season just been Mikhail winning it all? I left ARL to take a break. Hasn't been a good few weeks. And his young leader saying he forgot his setup. Honestly, I've not been here for 4 weeks, so I don't know. Back down the inside, Coys is trying to force it, but I think Mikhail really has been on a redemption season in that Red Bull, driving exactly like Max Verstappen. Dominance, dominance, dominance. Young leader, come on, says Beast. Right, let's see this then. Coys all over the rear end of Mikhail. We know he's done it before. Can he do it again? Into the corner, they do touch. Rear end and front wing colliding. Is there any damage to Coys' car? Well, this camera angle is not going to show us. I hate that camera angle. It's like the worst one. I think he's unscathed. Relatively unscathed. But totally no pro is going to put Coys under a bit of pressure now as well. And Reina's just dropping further and further back. Look at this. Coys all over the back of Mikhail. Again, into the bus stop chicane down the inside. Can he make the move? Yes, he can. Later on the brakes and around the outside, he's going to try and force it onto the start finish straight. He's got DRS. Mikhail's a sitting duck. Will his teammate try and get past him as well? Into turn 1. Yes, he will. Mikhail is under pressure from everyone, and this is slowing everyone down and backing them up into Reina. Mikhail, has the worst of it come yet? I think it probably has. And now it's Coys who's going to be under fire as up through Eau Rouge and Radion they go. Onto the Kemmel Straight. DRS is going to be open for all drivers behind him. And I think they're both going to get past him. Moving to the inside, the McLaren, but he can't fend either the Red Bulls off. And they're both past him. And now he's lost a position than where he was just before he'd overtaken Mikhail. And down into 3rd, and totally no pro is taking the lead of the race. Unbelievable comeback from him. I said the strategy didn't work. Well, I was clearly wrong. Those soft tyres are giving him a run of absolute brilliance and a run good enough that he could go and win this race. Mikhail desperately trying to stick behind him, but I don't think it's going to happen. 8 tenths of gap and ever growing. Totally no pro has made the absolute right strategy call, and that is why I don't drive the F1 car, but because before I said it was wrong, and I couldn't be further from the truth. Now Coys, again, all over the rear end of Mikhail, but he's making the move too early. This is what he's doing. He keeps overtaking him into the bus stop chicane. All he has to do is wait for the Camel Straight, and then he has an entire lap to get back ahead of Mikhail. We're going to have to wait and see what happens, though, between these two. Obviously, only a lap and a half left. A lap and a... well, less than that. Well, less than that now. Basically, only a lap left, and totally no pro. Miles off in the lead. Is the McLaren driver going to try into the bus stop chicane? Well, he is, but he's too far back to make it work. But he does have the switch back, and he is going to get past him going into turn 1, or maybe he's not. You can see Reina trying to line up on both of these drivers as well. Into turn 1 we go. No moves being made. I think Coys is maybe trying to not get past him. Oh, look at this. Look at this. They've slowed down so that they don't have to run. Oh, no. Oh, no. He slammed on the brakes. Reina has smashed into his rear, and Coys is out of the session. That is unreal. And they intentionally slowed down. Randro gets a 3-second time penalty there. They intentionally slowed down so that they didn't have the overtake, which I thought was going to happen. And that has cost Coys. That is unreal. I wonder what will be said after that. Young leader gets a 3-second time penalty. This is all about, can Reina get past by the end of this lap, and I don't think he can. Randro's going to see if he can get it up the inside, which he is going to do. He has got a penalty, but this is just making Reina's session from worse to even worse. Randro's really got a lot of pace here. Maybe he could do Reina a favour and back Mikhail up into him. We'll have to wait and see. The Aston Martin labelled the green Red Bull a season ago. Will it be able to dampen Red Bull's spirits and maybe make them lose out on that second place? Because I think Randro's penalties are going to ruin his chances of a podium anyway. But we'll have to wait and see. It's down the inside. He tries to force it, but he is squeezed off, tapping the rear end of Mikhail possibly, and making him lose the rear a little bit. Now down the final few Straights and bends we go. Totally No Pro's pulled an absolute blind and finds himself 9 seconds up the field after that tussle up to Aurora before Totally No Pro will cross the line in Max Verstappen style to win as he slides his rears across the start-finish line. Brilliant that, and I don't even know what's happened. Rayner gone off the track, smashed into Randro possibly, and Mikhail finished his second. I don't even know what just happened there. It's only 5% race, and it was pure chaos. And I don't think that was the finest driving from anyone out there, to be honest. Especially not Rayner and Coys. Hardly a race. Yeah, you could hardly call that a race, could you? Because it was 25%, and there was only 7 drivers in it, and by the end there was only like 4. So hardly a race, but a race nevertheless. And I am back, to stay until about 6 weeks' time when I go on holiday again. And unfortunately, Aurola's been dying lately. It's because I'm not here, and that's why. No, I think it's difficult because a lot of races. Well, obviously, races have been cancelled, and the removal of crossplay to try and fix servers has probably not helped that. Obviously, I've not been here commentating. I don't think that really has that much of a difference. I was joking. But the game I have heard really bad things about. And unfortunately, I was not going to get this game. I did then get it for commentary reasons only. I'm going to be perfectly honest and say that I don't think I'll get next year's game. And that will definitely mean that if I don't, we forced you to get it basically, pretty much. I think I might have to, I mean obviously, if I don't get next year's game, then there's no more commentary from me, and I'm basically retired from Aurora, which I don't want to happen. But if the state of the games carry on like this, then I will just stop getting them. And I do love Aurora. I always have. I mean, this is like my favourite league I've raced in leagues before, but I've never raced in a league this good. And I'm envious when I'm watching the racing out there sometimes. But I'm so glad I get to watch it all and commentate. The game is better. It's just so bugged, and that's the issue. And that's why it's so expensive. That's why I probably won't get it. At least not straight away. For the next one to come out. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We still got quite a few months until that happens anyway. So if I'm allowed to stay with the amount of absences I give, then I will for as long as I can. But anyway, I mean, this was a bit rushed. Not a proper race. Yeah, I had to buy it for 70, I think, on the PlayStation. Absolutely shocking. But yeah, no. If you enjoyed this, which honestly, it wasn't that great of a race, wasn't very representative of the league, but it was 25%, wasn't it? I think this was a bit of a rushed job. Anyway, what can I say? Please tune in next time around, and maybe, just maybe, we'll have a good race for you all. What? Yeah, Andrew, mate. That is. I will tell you exactly what happened. Essentially, I thought it was going to happen. So, Coys kept making the mistake of overtaking Mikhail before the Kemmel Straight, which then meant that Mikhail would just get him right back on the Kemmel Straight, right? So what Coys did was he slowed down out of the final. So when they went through the first corner, he slowed down so he didn't overtake Mikhail, but Mikhail wanted Coys to go past, so he also slowed down. Rayner smashes into the back of Coys, sends him into a wall and DNFs him. And yeah, it was basically, if you've ever seen the Monza qualifying of 2018, everyone's saying it's Mikhail's fault. I don't know. I've got no idea. I'd have to review the footage. Everyone slowed down. Yeah, Monza 2019, that's the one. That qualifying session, it was very reminiscent of that, where they all just didn't want to go past each other, and then no one made it to the line except for like Sainz. It was very reminiscent of that, except in this version they all smashed each other out. Except they didn't. It was just Mikhail going into the back of Coys. It's 25%. I don't know if points should be added for this, but yeah, it is what it is. I don't even think anyone's watching the stream, are they? we got 3 people watching. So those 3 people, you probably tune into the streams anyway. So you know what I'm gonna say. Just tune in. Yeah. Anyway, it was a bit of a naff one. This is probably been like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. Anyway, thanks for everyone who watched. Hopefully we see you again next week. And have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And from Aurora Racing League, good night.